good morning, good morning. And here we are for the White Dragon Tai Chi class for this week. Apologies, it wasn't on Monday. As I said, we had a getting ready for the solstice day going on, Zoom call going on Monday. So thank you very much for your patience. And we've now moved that to today, and we're doing we've now moved the Tai Chi class to today, Wednesday, and we'll get on with it now. Yes, that's probably the easiest thing to say. So, this time of year is always manic, right? Normally it's manic. It's manic now, but it's not as manic as it normally is because of all this lockdown and weirdness going on with COVID and so on and so forth. So what we're trying to do, or what we want to do, is try and create some peace inside ourselves. So it's turning the light around, looking inside, and create peace, a bit of calm, some harmony, which we can then radiate out. You can't make other people's worlds peaceful. You can't make other people's worlds harmonious and calm. They have to choose that for themselves. What you can do is choose it for yourself and then become the invitation for that. So you become calm, you become peaceful, you become harmonious, and you allow the world to do whatever it does around you and try and maintain your internal condition. Okay, without letting yourself get pulled out of center, without chasing the rabbits and the squirrels up and down trees and down holes and so on and so forth. Calming the mind, calming the heart, calming the body, the nervous system, keeping yourself in the center so that you can deal with things easier. So you're creating a situation where your present moment increases in size by raising your vibrational rate, if you like. I suppose you could look at it that way. You harmonize yourself to a higher vibration without wishing to sound too woo-woo. It's fairly sound scientific principles, really, that if you can get your energetic state to resonate on a higher frequency because you are more relaxed, more calm, you haven't got impedance in the way, then everything around you must, by nature, slow down. It's not that it slows down in terms of what it's doing. It's just you speed up, so therefore you perceive everything around you as slower. Yes, I'll leave you to play with that. How do you do it? So we're going to start off, just find your shoulder width. So if you don't know how to do that, feet together, turn out the toes, turn out the heels. That's your natural shoulder width. So you don't want your feet going past the edge of your shoulders, otherwise your base isn't stable. That's not quite correct. Your base can be stable, but you're doing something different. Okay, so we are softening the soles of our feet and taking our awareness down to the soles of the feet. So you just allow the feet just to soften and spread out onto the ground so that you can receive the support of the ground. And then just softening your ankles. So you're opening the joint, allowing the joint to expand and open. So it's almost like you're clenching your fist and you release the fist. So you're trying to do that with the joint. You can feel what's going on in the feet, front of the feet, the ankles, soles of the feet. And then as the joint opens, sink. So you get a feeling of sinking down. Not crushing down, sinking. And then bring your awareness up into the calf muscles. Feel the muscle and how it wraps around the bone. And then just create some space around the bones. So the bones can be held gently and they float in space. The muscles expand, release, and then get that feeling of sinking. Now, don't worry if you don't know what I'm talking about. Don't worry if you don't know how to do that. It's just continual practice, and eventually the path reveals itself. The important thing is that we are trying to gain more awareness of what's going on with the body. So by taking your mind down to your calf muscles and thinking about allowing them to release is actually part and parcel. It's a step on the way to actually doing it. And through continual practice of that, if you become more aware of it and you become more able to experience it and feel what's actually going on. Then moving up into the knee joints, and again, Allow the knee joint just to expand, release, and sink. So the sinking is a continual thing. You will continue to feel it until everything settles comfortably. You get a sense of being lifted up rather than, you get a sense of rather than being lifted up and the tension pushing you up, you get a sense of being able to just relax, release, sinking down to the ground. Then bring your awareness into the thigh muscles and do the same. Become aware of the bone running through the center of the thigh. Create some space around that by letting go of the muscle so that the bone can be held gently in space. The muscle can release so it can find its dynamic tension, if you like, its dynamic equilibrium, and sink. Then the tailbone, soften the tailbone. Release the hip joints. So the ball joints of the hip, allow them to open. Release, and then get a sense of the quad, this area here, and how that supports you, almost like the keystone of an arch. Allow that just to release and open, soften, sink. The tailbone drops as though you're sitting down on a stool. That opens up your lower back. Relaxing the waist, the abdomen. Start working your way up the spine and allow the spine to elongate up. As the muscles release and the vertebrae, the spaces between the vertebrae, open them. Coming all the way up to the shoulders. Allow the shoulder blades just to relax. They round very slightly so the shoulders sit comfortably over the hips. You're harmonizing your shoulders with your hips. Continue stretching up through the spine, into the neck, tucking the chin under so you raise the neck, suspend the head. A sense of being suspended from space through the top of your head so that the spine hangs down like a string of pearls. Come over the top of the head, relaxing the scalp. Softening the eyes, softening the ears. Hold the eyes beyond sight, the ears beyond hearing. Be aware of what's around you. You can have your eyes open at the moment if that's more comfortable for you, or you can have your eyes shut. It's up to you. Just allow them to go into soft focus and relax. And softening the nose. Let the breathing in and out become nice and smooth and gentle. Soften the mouth, the tongue, the jaw. Let the tongue come to rest very gently just behind the teeth. If you make a L sound, your tongue will naturally go to that point. And soften down through the throat to the clavicles. Opening space around the bones. Let the muscles do what they do. The bones are floating in space. Muscles expand, release, and then sink. Softening into the chest cavity, opening up the space in the internal spaces in the chest as you breathe. Any areas of tension, just let them go. Feel how that expands out and opens up the shoulder joints. Expanding out. Softening the upper arms, creating space around the bone. Muscle expand. The muscle expand. Release. And then sinking down so that the elbows can open. Softening the forearms. Creating space around the bone. Muscles expand. Release. Sink so the wrist joints can open. Opening the palms of the hands, softening the palms so that it can spread out into all the fingers and everything can just stretch out gently. Now you're not pushing your fingers away, you're allowing the weight of the stretch out and opening up the joints in the fingers, the knuckles, by relaxing the palms of the hands, emptying the palms of the hands. Just take a moment as you're doing that. Connect again with the ground. Tailbones dropping as they sit, your chin tucked in to elongate the spine. And bring your awareness back to the chest. Remember that you're breathing in. You're not holding your breath. You're not putting tension into the breath. You're just allowing it to breathe. You're allowing yourself to breathe. Opening up the diaphragm you do. Letting the mind sink into the body. Down into the belly. Releasing the abdomen and the groin. Sink down further. Just breathe. And then just very gently, just sink into your left leg. So your weight transfers over, almost like water trickling. If you have, imagine both legs are half filled with water, and then you fill the left leg up. So it's about 70% full. And the right leg is now 30%. Sinking down through your left leg. And then And transfer that water back up. So you're releasing up through the left leg, across the quad, sinking down into the right leg. Releasing back up, sink down into the left leg. As you do, just allow the hips to turn to bring your arms around to the left hand side. Now watch you're not twisting your knees, keeping yourself fairly upright, moving around your spine and center, and then release back up through the left leg, centering the waist, and sink down, turning over the right leg. Again, make sure you're not twisting down through your knees. Come up, releasing up, squaring the hips, sinking down through the left leg. Come up, squaring the hips, and sinking down through the right leg. Now notice the arms are moving because the waist is turning. The shoulders are moving in line with the waist. And the arms just keep their position in space, just relaxing, releasing. Speed the motion up just a little bit, because this can be quite hard on the legs. And relaxing further, keep the mechanics going through the legs, and just turn the waist. So now we're at the Sungung set. So we do this one to open Sungung. So relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the arms. Keep the mind sinking down into the belly, that point 3 fingers width below the tummy button and then back into the center of the body, halfway between the abdominal wall and the spine. That's the point you're moving around. So although you're transferring weight from one side to the other, you're trying to keep yourself reasonably upright and rotate around your spine from the dantian. So the legs are powering the turning of the waist. Waist is turning, which is moving the shoulders, directing motion. And then the shoulders just issue that motion into the arms. So really switch the arms off now and just let them swing around. Relaxing off the spine. Release all the muscles either side of the spine. Release the cartilage between the vertebrae, the discs. Let them relax. So that the spine can elongate. Head suspended. So that you get, although you're sinking down through into your feet, you want to try and start to experience lightness in the body. There is a tendency when you're working on sinking to start creating heaviness in the body. And there is a heaviness there, but you need that balance, that harmony. So you're suspended from the head so that you're keeping the feeling of lightness, but creating heaviness down through the feet, so that we can talk in riddles and be very Taoist when we start going on about yin and yang. Because it's not yin and yang, it's yin yang. The two of them work together always. And when they work together in harmony, They balance each other, they harmonize, they create a smoother, easier experience through life. It's when we go chasing one or the other that we send things out of harmony, out of balance, and create tension, stress, and aggravation in our lives. Now, don't get me wrong, you cannot avoid external stresses. They're things that just come up. I suppose the way of looking at it very much is what the Taoists would term as shit happens. I don't know whether you've seen the thing that comes around every now and again about the different worldviews, different religions. So you have the Taoists is shit happens, the Buddhists is shit happens, but it's not really shit. The Catholics would be shit happens and it's all my fault. The Jews would be shit happens, but that's fine because you can always sell the shit. The Muslims, I suppose, would be shit happens and it's a gift from Allah. Again, these are not my worldview. It's just quite amusing. So from Taoism's point of view, shit happens and it's just a matter of dealing with it. And the way you deal with it is to create that peace within yourself. There's also a Buddhist point of view. The Buddha would say, turn the light around and look inside to find your path. And it's finding that harmony, that peace that exists everywhere, but it exists internally more. So you find that internal condition, that comfort, that peace, that ease, whatever it is you need to describe it with, you find that, and then you maintain that condition. Now, it is a maintenance of that condition. It's not you suddenly become enlightened, you suddenly become full of ease and joy. You have to continually work at it. It's something that your world will be shaken. It always will. There will always be something that comes up. And it's not that you've lost your ability to find the peace or the ease. It's about how fast you can realize that you're no longer at peace and that you're no longer harmonious and at ease. And then how fast you can get back to it. So you've got the quality of song or quality of ease, peace, release, whatever you want to call it. And then you have the skill at noticing when you've lost that quality or when that quality is diminished, and the skill at getting back and deepening that quality. So the deeper you go into the quality of song, the deeper you go into the quality of ease and peace, the easier it is to maintain it, because the harder it is to pull you out of that. Okay. And then when you become that ease and that peace, you can become an invitation to the world around you and to the people around you to experience that. You can never make them experience it. You can't force people to do this, because that actually goes against the principle. It's a gift. You become the peace. You radiate the peace that you would like to see in the world. And then others are invited to join that. And being in your presence can be peaceful. You ever been in the presence of someone who's just so happy, so content with their own life? It's just easy being with them, comfortable being with them. And people like being around people like that, because there's no judgment, there's no force. It's just total ease. Okay, so let's change this motion now. So we're going to just come to rest. Let the arms come up. Now, when you bring your arms up, you are actually raising up through the body a little bit, but you don't want your elbows to drop in and the wrists to come up like so. They need to be, the wrists stay flat and the elbows stay outside the wrists in terms of coming back into the body. The hands are also coming forward a little bit, so you're not pulling yourself back and tight across the shoulder blades and the chest. So bringing the hands up, and then we just sink down like we did before, sinking down into the left leg, and allow the hips to turn. So this becomes the anchor, the door hinge, if you the door frame. This becomes the hinge, just dropping in, and the left hand swings in front, right hand behind. Then releasing up through the left leg, which drives the hips to square, The arms are coming up. So you fill, expand, and then sink down through the right leg, allowing the hips to turn again. Now it's a turn, not a twist. And then release up through your right leg, driving the hips round, not through force, but almost like a spiral energy, if you like, and then sinking down. So the hard thing with this is that you start to feel it and you get that, whoa, oh yeah, I can feel that, whoa, and you put tension in, but you need to release, relax. So you still feel that motion, but it's got no force behind it. It has power behind it, but not force. That's that's an alien thing to say. It's very strange. But you really do need to abandon all force. So that the body can just completely open, the mind can enter into the body, and the spirit can integrate. And again, the ground. Let the tailbone drop as though you're sitting on a stool, and tuck the chin to suspend the head and elongate the spine. Relaxing and opening all the internal spaces. And then we're going to speed it up. Try and keep that motion going through the body. Again, rotating around the spine, sitting into your center, let the mind sink into the belly, into the center. So it's not quite the belly, it's back behind that. A couple of finger widths below the tummy button, and then back halfway between the spine and the abdominal wall ish. Again, just relaxing all the muscles up through the spine, either side of the spine. Feel where the turning is actually twisting. Okay, so if you feel like you've got tightness twisting across the spine, the muscles either side of the spine, just look at that, examine that, relax the muscles so that you can turn. The muscles become fluid and move as opposed to taut and twisted. Again, shoulder blades. Feel if there's any torque twisting through the shoulder blades, and then just let that go. So the muscles become fluid. The white tissue becomes fluid. Letting go of tension. Letting go of force. Just watch your knees, make sure you're not creating torque down through the knees, so relaxing the muscles in the legs so that again they become fluid as you move. And then just speed it up. Really just switch off the arms. Feel the motion through the body. And change. Just allow yourself to relax. So, opening with the form. And begin with rise and fall. So connect with the ground, soften the ground, soften the foot, soften the ground. Yes, allow your chi to flow into the ground and soften the ground beneath the feet. Soften the soles of the feet and allow yourself to sink down through the legs. Drop the tailbone as though you're sitting down on the stool. Tuck the chin to elongate the spine, then relax all the muscles down the spine. Opening up the vertebrae so that the spine hangs like a string of pearls. Relaxing the shoulders. And then bring the hands forward, breathing in, the hands come up. And then breathing out, the elbows drop, the wrists drop and down. Breathing in, you're expanding up. And breathing out, sinking down. Again, connecting with your center. So feel the feet, drop the tailbone, tuck the chin, let the mind sink into the body. And just rise and fall, breathing in, let the hands come up. Breathing out, let the hands sink down. And come up. So you have a yin-yang separation around the dantian, around the diaphragm, really. So as you're breathing in, you've got a downward motion going down into the feet, which allows you to expand up. You've got an upward motion pulling up from the head. So you've got this kind of elongation coming up as the arms rise. And then you have a compression. So you're coming down, as you're sinking down, there's a compression coming up into the tummy and dropping down. So it meets. So it's kind of doing this as you're moving, okay? And at the same time, you're using the hands to come up and sink down. So you're expanding out from the qua, from the dantian, from the diaphragm, and then contracting down into the belly. I suppose the belly's the easiest way to put it, isn't it, really? So breathing in, come up, and breathe out, sinking down. So when you first do this, you tend to just sort of like wave the arms about, okay? But it's actually, the idea of Tai Chi is to connect through the body. Now, it's not everything moving together and coming up rigid. It's like a wave, so you come up. So there's a gentle stretch that goes out through the body internally. Don't worry if you've got no idea what I'm talking about. It's just a matter of keep practicing the exercise. Keep doing your breathing into your belly, trying to clear the mind and let the mind sink into the belly. And eventually you get a sense of the integration. how it all starts to work together. Softening the muscles, abandoning all force. Very, very strange, because we actually live from a perspective of force. Our whole world is based on force, putting effort in. Put 110% in. You must work hard. You must push yourself. Force, force, force. Actually, as you get older and wiser, hopefully, we begin to realise that force is not necessarily the way. And although it's necessary at a young age in order to build muscle and build strength and getting you doing stuff, as you get older, your body changes, your mind changes, your energy changes, and we need to find different ways of functioning so that we can continue doing the things that we do. Because the force becomes counterproductive, locks itself into the body, and shuts the body down. So we need to let go of that force, creating space, reducing resistance and impedance, allowing ourselves to flow. Of course, all these things are easier said than done, which is why we continue to practice. It's continual practice. Which is where Kung Fu comes from. Continual effort. I've heard it termed as hard work, but it's not hard work. It's diligent practice. Making the effort to discover and perfect that which you wish to discover and perfect. Okay. Let's change this now. So sink down into the feet. Just let your arms just come to rest. And just transfer your weight onto the left leg. And pick up your right heel and bring your foot in. Then place the toe on the floor, roll down onto the heel, and transfer your weight across onto the right leg, picking up your left heel. Step out to shoulder width. Roll your weight onto your left leg, sinking down. And then transfer the weight back onto the right leg, sinking down through the right leg. Picking up the left heel, step up with the left toe. Place the toe on the floor, roll your weight back down onto the left leg, transfer your weight onto the left leg, pick up your right heel. And then step out to shoulder width. Roll your weight across onto the right leg. Pick up the left heel again. Step up. Place the toe on the floor. Roll your weight onto the left leg, picking up the right heel. Step out to shoulder width. Roll your weight onto the right leg. Sinking down through the right foot. And then come back. Again, keep the tailbone dropped as though you're sitting on a stool, but keep your head suspended. Picking up the right toe, stepping in. Roll your weight onto the right leg. Pick up the left foot. Step out. Rolling the weight across onto the left leg. Pick up your right heel. Step up with the right toe. Transfer the weight. Pick up the left heel. Step out to shoulder width. Roll your weight across, sinking down into the left leg. Transfer your weight back. Pick up the left heel. Step up with the left toe. Transfer the weight. Pick up the right heel. Step out to shoulder width. Roll your weight onto the right leg. Pick up the left heel. Step up with the left toe. Roll your weight onto the left leg. Pick up the right heel, step out to shoulder width, roll your weight onto the right leg. So from there, allow your waist to turn over the right. Bring your left hand in so it's at waist height. The right hand comes up so it's around shoulder height. So left palm is facing right palm to the floor, and then you swap the hands over. So you cross left fingertips through the gap here between the thumb and forefinger, which is the right tiger's mouth. There. And then transfer your weight across. Bring the weight and waist across. Pick up your right heel. Step up with the right toe. Transfer by dropping the right heel down, transfer your weight onto the right leg. And as you do, turn your left palm to the floor, right palm to face, swap the hands. So again, you're now crossing the right fingertips through left tiger's mouth. Turn the waist, turn the palms, pick up your left heel, step out to shoulder width, and then cross the palms, weight, waist, turn the palms, cross through, step up, then transferring the weight, turning the waist, turn the palms, cross through, step out. Weight and waist, turn the palms, cross through, then weight and waist, turn the palms, cross through, step up, weight and waist, turn the palms, cross through as you step out. Weight and waist, turn the palms, cross through, step up, weight and waist, turn the palms, cross through, step out. Weight and waist, turn the palms, cross through, reverse. Weight and waist, turn the palms, cross through, step up. And just keep going. Find a rhythm that's comfortable for you. Feeling the ground beneath the feet. Dropping the tailbone, sitting back against the spine into the pelvis. Tuck the chin. Wave hands like the clouds. Remember to breathe, relaxing down through the spine, softening the shoulders. Just relax. Come up. Give the body a shake. Okay, so Tai Chi movement's peculiar. When we learn to walk, we learn to throw our head forward and then throw it out to catch up, or we throw our leg out and run to catch up. Okay. Tai Chi is trying to create harmony, equilibrium. It's finding the center point within your body and then feeling yin and yang moving and working together. So when one shoulder goes forward, the other one goes back at the same speed and then return. But that's all driven from the waist. So it's actually one hip goes forward, the other one goes back. And you work with the legs. Okay, so stepping in Tai Chi is very much dependent on creating a point where you are sat comfortably on one leg so that you can feel your center, then pick up the other foot and place it. Now, you're placing it in a position where you're not having to chase. You haven't pulled yourself off center. So if you are young and fit and strong and you want to, sinking down lower into the thigh means that you can step further and then roll your weight forward as you square. Now, when you're in a front stance, your back foot should be to your, so we say 45 degrees to the corner, but don't take that externally as the corner of the room. It's the corner of your space. So if you imagine a square or a circle around you, you have 45 degrees angles from your center going out. That's your 45 degree angle. So the corner of the room could be 70 degrees away from where you're standing. So it's 45 degrees to you. So you have the front, back, side directions. So there's your X, Y, and Z axis all coming off the center point, the tan bien. So to step in Tai Chi, if you're going to step forward, then you would sink onto whichever's going to be your back leg. And as you do, just turn the toe 45 degrees out to your corner so that you can sit down. You're opening up your hip here, opening up the quad. Pick up the other foot and then place the heel on the floor. You want to avoid throwing the foot out because you don't want to be moving until you're ready. So keeping it shoulder width, sitting down, just place the foot on the floor and then you roll the weight forward onto it and everything arrives at the same time, if you like. So everything comes together. As you roll the weight forward, you roll. You don't go foot flat, knee, hip. You go, the foot comes forward, the knee comes over the toe, and the hip squares. So everything sinks and rests over the front leg at the same time. Let's have a few goes at that. So find your shoulder width. You need to do that. Feet together. Turn up the toes, turn up the heels. And then sinking onto your right leg, just turn your right toe 45 degrees out to your corner and just allow yourself to sink in. So notice the hips turn to the corner. I'm sitting down and everything works together. So I've turned, sit, sink. Pick up, place the heel on the floor and rolling the weight forward. Square. And again. Shoulder width, turn the toes, sitting down, pick up, step, roll. One more time that side. Turn out the toe, sinking down, pick up the foot, step, roll. And then come back, shoulder width. Let's do the other way. So sit down on your left leg. You need to turn left toe 45 degrees out to the corner, sitting down. Pick up the heel, step forward, roll. Now notice, as I'm coming forward, if I leave my hip, I'm leaning here, which is fine. You can do that. If you're coming forward with a shoulder, you can actually drop in there. That's fine. But if you want a forward stance, this is called bow stance, I suppose, you need your hips square. So as you roll forward here, the foot comes down and touches flat on the floor as the knee ends up over the toe and the hip ends up square. So everything sort of like drops into place, boom. So you arrive together as one. Arrive together as one's not little bit misleading. Need to be a bit careful with that one. So anyway, shoulder width. Turn the toe out, left toe out, sitting down. Pick up, step, roll. So everything comes, sink, finish together. And then come back. So what I'm going to do is as I come back, I'm just sitting down onto my left leg, doing the same thing. Just letting the hip drop in so I'm comfortable. Weight going down, left leg. Pick up my right foot, step back to shoulder width, and then rolling the weight so I come square. And then I can turn to the other side. Come back. You can start getting a little bit more creative with it. So come back, step up, transferring the weight, across, stepping out. So it becomes more like the stepping in the form. As you turn your weight across, turn out the toe, pick up the other foot, stepping out. So at the moment, this is very mechanical. So if you're used to doing this, then you can smooth it out a bit more. But make sure you have your mechanics there. Otherwise, but if you're new to it, step up, transfer the weight, turn out, pick up, step out, roll, square. Now the other thing that's difficult with this is because you're sinking, you end up putting a lot of pressure into the legs and you feel really heavy. But the step should have light. So if you were doing it combat speed, it would be nice and light. Okay. Right. I've just seen the time. I was enjoying that so much. I could have gone forever. So just find your shoulder width, sinking down through the feet, drop the tailbone, tuck the chin, hands over the dantian, left hand under right, right hand under left for ladies, and just breathing into the stomach, breathing into the belly, clear the mind, and sink the mind down into the body. And relax, just come up, keep the body. So that is unfortunately all we have time for this year. Oh, I've got really left to say then is Merry Christmas and have a really happy New Year. We'll be back in the new year with a new program, new ways of doing stuff. I've got lots and lots of work to do between now and New Year, which is why I'm not running classes between Christmas and New Year, so I can sit down and work out the syllabus and work out where I'm going with all of this. And I will post that information on the website, on the Facebook page, and make the classes available as normal to everybody come January. Again, thank you so much for joining me this year. Thank you so much for support. I hope you've enjoyed these sessions, and I hope that the next coming year is going to be far greater than this year was. 2020 did have great potential. It promised a hell of a lot. And then, yeah, not to worry, what else is possible? Again, thank you so much for joining me. Take care, and we'll see you in the new year.